My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. It was a hazy first 18 overs, every pun intended, from the Indian batting effort. But 30 runs of the last 2 overs, a blitzkrieg, a partnership of 28 of 10 balls from two unlikely heroes in Krunal Pandya and Washington Sundar, who don't find themselves in that scorecard because Shikhar Dhawan, Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer were the highest scorers technically. But that little impact partnership at the end has really given India something to work with in the context of what we've seen, the context of the surface that we've seen. 148 looks like a terrific score. Not quite the 150, Joy, that you would have needed to sit on the My 11 Circle expert couch, but you'd reckon with 118 with 2 overs to go, quite a good score.
No, it's an excellent score, and I think it's also telling you a little bit about the surface. At the moment the fast bowlers came back to finish it, that's where they got tonked. And the only surprise that I have out there, and it's possibly something that's, you can see out there, is that why were Afif and Aminul, neither of them managed to finish their spells.
And Fizz.
Absolutely.
I
mean, they must have been, the captain must have been just playing it by ear and listening to it. But he might just have missed a trick out there. I mean, because I thought those overs in the middle were brilliant. From from Afif and the Amin, there was some brilliant bowling in the middle. I
mean, you've got the leg spinner who's taken 2 for 20, hasn't bowled his 4th over.
Correct.
Only Al-Amin Hussain, who has ended up bowling his 4 overs along with Shafiul Islam, who got tonked in that last over. But let's come to the left-arm seamer here. I mean, a world-class bowler like Mustafizur Rahman, you can talk about a left-arm spinner not playing because of the left-handers there. Why would you not finish?
And you can to a certain degree understand as well, because there were 2 left-handers batting in the middle. So, the leg spinners been held back at that stage, So that's something which you can say smart captaincy around that stage. But I think Mustafizur is a world-class bowler, and, he has made his impact, and his main claim to fame has been bowling those death overs. So, you need to show more faith in that to close the game. So that's why it's just looking like that, last couple of overs have gone for a bit more than what it was expected. Krunal and Washington Sundar both did a fantastic job for the Indian team at that stage. Maybe Bangladesh missed a trick there, but I think apart from that, they've been phenomenal. I think apart from that, in terms of bowling changes, in terms of applying their strategies, was spot on by Bangladeshis. There is no doubt about it. As far as I think Indian batting is concerned, there is a little bit of work needs to be done in terms of communication. I felt that when you know the kind of surface you are playing in, and you lose, you have a slowish kind of a start to the innings, then the better communication needs to happen. Also, the timing of the wickets were not great. There was a run out at a crucial stage. Shreyas was looking really good. Had he batted for another 2-3 overs, maybe things would have been different for Indian team in terms of setting the target for Bangladesh. Dew is going to be the factor, so we just have to wait and see. Even though there was enough purchase for the spinners also on the track, we'll have to see how the wicket holds up and what kind of impact Dew will have on the game. But on the whole, I felt maybe from India's batting there was some kind of a confusion in terms of how to approach the innings. And as far as Bangladesh bowling is concerned, they were pretty good. Mahmudullah really led from the front, just couldn't give that finishing touch. Could have been even better, but I think on the whole they were fantastic.
Yeah, but the one thing we've seen in T20 cricket, you can be brilliant for 18 overs. There was a World T20 tournament a few years ago where the theme of the tournament was #1BigOver. And it's sort of shown that no matter how brilliant you are for 18 overs, if you can't be brilliant for the remaining 2, you might just be the difference between winning and losing.
It's a relative inexperience, and Mustafizur would have been really useful at that particular point, because he has that experience. He's played on these pitches a lot more. The other interesting thing is you haven't had the longest Indian partnership was 34 runs. So no partnership really got going. And even though Shikhar Dhawan was there for a very long time, he really never looked like the Shikhar Dhawan is, and that's something that it's interesting to see. The other thing you'll notice is all the 6s that were hit, they were all straight. So when they managed to hit them, they were all managed to hit them straight.
The short boundary.
The short boundary. The moment they were going here, and they got out also because you're going to try and you're trying to force it up front. I thought it was brilliant bowling to say Shreyas Iyer, because he was the one batsman who was looking dangerous. The guy got hit, you get hit for 2 6s, you still toss it up and you get a wicket. That was, I thought, brave, and they bowled well today. They really bowled well.
Well, Afif, after the innings, said that basically their strategy was they were trying to bowl dot balls, they were playing that whole game of trying to restrict the Indians. And I think, as you said, for 18 overs, they did a good job of it.
They did, I think, and that's when, you got to go back to the basics. And I think Mahmudullah missed a trick there. On the whole, I felt that, the Indian batting side, when Shikhar was going, one batsman can afford to play that 100, 120 strike rate. And that's why his wicket was very crucial at that stage when, we needed to just, Indian team needed to anchor one side and then others rally around him. Rishabh Pant once again was kind of giving the signs that he was focusing more on singles and doubles, moving away from his strength. So that's something which again didn't help the cause at that stage in the middle when it required. You saw it with Shreyas putting the pressure on the bowlers. Things start to flow, and that's what happens in this shorter format. Once you put pressure on the bowlers in under pressure make some errors, and that you can really bank on. But that opportunity never really happened until the last couple of overs.
But the real talking point, and we mentioned it at the start of the show, was the whole talk. Virat Kohli mentioned it earlier, Rohit Sharma has mentioned it. Is India playing the perfect T20 international cricket? Dominant in ODIs, dominant in test matches. What is stopping them from being that dominant force, particularly when they set totals? Let's first hear what Rohit Sharma said before the start.
We've not had a great run in T20. We probably are ranked number 5 or 6, if I'm not wrong. I think 5. 5? 2? 5. No, I'm pretty sure. I do my homework pretty well. I think we're 5, yeah. So, abhi tak khatam nahi hua, sir. So that is something that we are really focused on, and we want to get that number a little higher. We want to be at the top in all 3 formats. That has been the standard that we have set, and there is no reason that we can't achieve that.
Rohit Sharma, very clear that he had done his homework about where the Indian team was ranked. And I mean, people were almost trying to say, is it really that low? You can't believe India can be as low as that. So what is it that India have to do to live up to, say, Rohit Sharma's words that we have to be the best in all formats?
I think the one thing that they are missing for some reason is, when you bat first night, it's all about mentally setting your target. Saying very fast, and sometimes you can't decide before the game. You start out there and you say, okay, we'll try and get to 130, 140, and then we accelerate, we might get to 160. But we're not going to try for 200, because if you try for 200, you could be 100 for 8 on a pitch like this. So somewhere I feel that benchmarking that's happening, setting targets is all about benchmarking, and then seeing in the last 2-3 overs, wickets in hand, how much more can you do. But you have something in mind, and I just think that somewhere, in the middle especially, that 6 to 13, 14, we're drifting a bit. The game nobody is taking charge of that game, and that's one of the vital things. Whereas when we are chasing, we seem to know exactly what we are doing. And I think that's one of the things that happen, especially in middle overs. You tend to drift a lot more if you're not clear about the target in your head.
Now, Zaheer, in the last 12 months, we're looking back at India's T20 international record. Other than the West Indies, whatever flamboyant they might be, but not quite the force that they've been. They have not beaten any of the other dominant big sides in the world, and that's one of the things they need to change.
Well, I think in terms of the win percentage, when we are talking about in the earlier show, and we're looking at it's still higher. So I think what is missing is the other teams are still doing better than what Indian team is doing. But if you look at just the percentage of wins, they've managed to win a lot of games, and that percentage is pretty high. Yeah. So I think what needs to be done is that what others are doing in terms of creating that impact at the level. Maybe the margins are not that big. Even though Indian team is ranked at number 5, the margins are not that big, because I'll be surprised if the margins are big with the kind of percentage which we saw earlier in terms of winning matches. I think in 40 matches, Indian team has won about 27, 28 games or something. So that is still 26, a decent number in terms of number of wins. So we just have to wait and see, how things shape up from here. But looking at how Indian team have been going about doing their business and planning and preparation, I've been pretty happy with it. I think what missing factor as far as Indian winning formula is concerned, I think they're lacking power for the T20 format. You know, they're just a touch short on that power at the back end. And when you have a shot of power at the back end, then you have to figure out a formula which will work for you in your favor to still give you the same result, which you have to have attacking top order. You know, so maybe they need to understand how to get to that total, or maybe the top order needs to be more aggressive to cover up for that lack of power at the back end. You know, we always talk about MS Dhoni and Hardik Pandya coming in there. Shivam Dube got an opportunity because of that. You know, because of the power. Rishabh Pant has not been coming consistent. Shreyas has been showing the signs of providing that power, but someone needs to carry through the innings. So that's something, you know, these are the areas which will be vital for Indian team if they have to raise this percentage of wins even higher than where they are, and they should be okay. So it's just about using your resources and then figuring out a plan and achieving the result.
So I think the conclusion I can get from Zaheer's last words is maybe the bar was already raised so high in all the formats that we were being a little bit more harsh and demanding on the Indian team. But fair enough, that's what we need to be when you're a high-class team like that. Just to finish off here, since none of us were high-class enough to sit on the My 11 Circle expert couch because we had to do it before the first ball was bowled, we've got one more chance to do it at the end of the show, gentlemen. What's the result going to be? And this time I'm going to go ahead and go first to try and keep my friends across the border happy and say that yes, a little bit of dew, and their first ever T20 international win against India, 8-0. That record will change to 8-1. I'm sorry for all of you in India. It's just a prediction and just my desire to sit on the couch. So I'm going with Bangladesh winning in, well, I don't have to say when if both of you are going with India.
I'll go with India. India, 10 runs.
I think pressure is going to play a huge role. You know, it's a Delhi track, so anything can happen. Yes, dew is going to be a factor, but that last couple of overs has definitely given India enough hope right now to make a game out of it. It's not going to be an easy ask for sure. You know, there is no doubt about it. I think they've still fallen short by 15 or so runs, which they'll have to make it up in fielding, and hope that Bangladesh batsmen will crumble under pressure, because in this game pressure will be playing a vital role. And
but hope doesn't get you on a couch.
No, but I think I'll still go with Indian team. Yes.
All right, but he said 10 runs, so you've got to tell us bigger margin than that.
Win by 10 runs.
I said win by 10, so.
It will be a close game, I think. Yeah, so 7 runs.
7 runs,
Wow.
10 runs, 7 runs. Wow, we're going to have quite a fight to the couch at the end. We'll see where we stand with the Bangladesh run chase. We will see. I'll be in the company of Virender Sehwag in the 10th over and see how the things are going with Cricbuzz Combox. And of course, we'll wrap it all up on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.